Let us consider this hypothetical example. Let's say that Joe, a Bitcoin miner, someone who mines BTC, has some Bitcoin stored in his wallet and decides to pay Lewis, a cleaner, for her services using Bitcoin. Rather than using traditional means of payment that are commonly used like credit cards, he prefers paying for her services through the use of Bitcoin, maybe due to low fees of the transaction and the amount that needs to be paid. How will this transaction be carried out? There are certain basic steps that need to be observed in order for this transaction to be successful. Step 1. Both parties need to have a wallet, and based on the knowledge you will learn about wallet later, I will recommend for now a hot wallet and more precisely a mobile wallet for a start due to its flexible nature. You will learn more about this later. So, they both need wallets because these bitcoins exist just virtually and wallets have private and public keys. These private and public keys make Bitcoin transaction possible. Public keys are like addresses to a given wallet to which the sender, in this case Joe, can send funds to the receiver, Lewis. Step 2. In this step, Lewis copies his wallet address. We will talk more about addresses later on this study. So, Lewis copies his wallet address and sends it to Joe. Step 3. Joe copies this address and pastes it onto his wallet to complete the payment. Before he can successfully complete a payment, he should have filled out how much he wants to send, which must not exceed the balance in his wallet. Step 4. The amount may be a fraction of Bitcoin. Joe uses his private key to confirm or approve this transaction, which will withdraw the money from his wallet. Step 5. After Joe approves the transaction or pays, the transaction is sent to all of the computers on the network to verify if the transaction is genuine. This process will quickly spot and stop what is referred to as a double spending. This ensures that no one spends what he does not have. If the transaction is not genuine, it won't cross this step. Step 6. This approved transaction is then included into a block, some sort of ledger or book, which is to be mined by miners, high-power computers. This arrives at a hash. I will talk more about this later in this course. Step 7. Within a period of 10 minutes, mining takes place. Mining is, in simple terms, a computational process of solving complex mathematical puzzles of any given transaction to arrive at that transaction's hash. A transaction hash, also known as an ID, is a unique string of characters that is given to every transaction that is verified and added to the blockchain. Step 8. The first miner who correctly guesses or arrives at the hash or ID of that transaction, or any guess close to the actual hash of that transaction, is rewarded with Bitcoin. The miner is only rewarded with Bitcoin when the hash generated from its calculation is verified by all other miners on the network. This process is referred to as proof of work, abbreviated as POW. A little more on proof of work. It is a decentralized consensus agreement technique that requires participants of a given network, in this context the Bitcoin network, to spend time solving guessing a complex mathematical puzzle in order to prevent the system from being hacked. This technique is widely used in cryptocurrency to validate transactions, and as a result, new coins are mined and given as a reward to the miner who correctly solved the puzzle. Step 9. After the proof of work is done, the block whose hash was correctly guessed and validated by the other nodes, miners, in the network is added to the already existing blocks in the blockchain. The validated transaction found in that block, ledger or record, becomes irreversible. This is a characteristic of Bitcoin transaction. They are irrevocable. Step 10. After all these processes have taken place in the network, the Bitcoin arrives at the designated address and Lewis is notified that the money has entered his wallet. There are usually notifications sent to both parties that the transaction was a success. With this illustration of a Bitcoin transaction, I'm convinced that you should now have a better understanding of how Bitcoin works. Taking a critical look at these steps, you will notice that there are no intermediaries like the banks in the above steps. However, this isn't the case with traditional methods of payments. Thus, we can plainly say that Bitcoin is a purely peer-to-peer electronic cash system. The next lecture shows a pictorial representation of the above steps.